Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Brandon Wallace Centre and welcome to the Spirit Fighting Championship. And our national professional MMA and K1 action. Brandon, are you ready? Brandon, are you ready? And ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm welcome to our first contender of the evening. Into the blue corner from Pride UK, Richard Wallace.
Against Chris Hayat in the welterweight division. This was one of the original fights announced for Spirit 3. And these guys have had a pretty public feud on Facebook. Rich is currently 1-1 in Spirit FC. He lost his debut against the now champion Chris Lotley. However, in his last outing against David Kukowski, he won a close decision. In Chris's last fight, he fought Don Mabitson in a rematch of a fight a couple of years back. However, in Chris's last fight, he fought Ash Jones and in a huge upset took submission of the night with a stunning standing guillotine. Richard Wallace is obviously competes for the Team GB in the ISKA MMA grappling competitions, and he's also a 4th degree black belt in kickboxing. However, he's probably better known nowadays for his blue belt in 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu, having worked quite a lot with Spirit organisers, Revolution MMA. Has got Nick is firmly in Chris's corner.
Ladies and gentlemen, this MMA bout is scheduled for 3 rounds under B-class MMA rules in the welterweight division. Original referee, round 1.
And here we go. Chris is quick off the mark. Here we go. Knees from Chris, looking to control the cage. Obviously with Rich's kickboxing background, you need to be very careful of being clinched with him. Nice knee there. Unfortunately they're now in the blind spot of the cage to me, but Rich, both guys are trying to fight for position here. Nice. Just trading knees, the pair of them at the moment. Chris's hands are firmly in the cage. He needs to be careful, he's going to get a point taken off him. That was said during the fighters' meeting. Nice knee landed there by Rich Wallace, and again. Nice knees. Great pressure here from Richard Wallace. Again, just trying to soften him up, trying to advance a position. Potentially looking for a guillotine. A nice takedown there from Chris. Nice trip. Chris looking to transition and he secures side mount. The question is, knees being shouted at from Chris's corner, trying to soften up Richard's body. What Rich needs to do here now is just stay composed. Oh, nice sweep. Oh, unlucky there though. Obviously, from his 10th Planet background, Rich is very dangerous with his back still. Oh, secures back to half guard. Chris looking like he's trying to take a breather here. He just needs to be careful that his hands are actually on the mat, because Rich could easily go straight back into guard here. Looking for lockdown. Looks like... Nice sweep there from Rich. Looks like Chris is going for lockdown of his own. He's giving it up. Trying to shrimp his way out and regain position. Straight into side control there by Rich. Looking to secure a guillotine from the look of this. Nice. Has he got it? I can't really see from here how deep this is, but Chris could be in trouble. Chris's corner seemed to think that Nick's fine. That Chris is fine, sorry. 10 seconds left in the round. Can Chris hold on here? He's let go of it now. Chris just needs to remain composed. And the end of the round. Chris's corner's very happy with that round. Let's just try and hear what they got to say. Obviously, hard to say who took that round. I'd probably give it to Rich. He softened him up nice with the knees, but Chris then did score the takedown. However, Rich again managed to switch, transition, and took control of the ground after about a minute down there. I'd say from that as well, though, Chris seemed very comfortable on top. Just needs to remember to distribute his weight properly and hold Richard down. Both guys weighed in at similar weights, both just over 75 kilos.
Round 2.
And here we go, round 2. Nice spinning kick to the leg there. Nice knee as well by Richard Wallace. Looking for that guillotine again. Chris needs to try and free his head. He needs to get that head out. Standing guillotine is well on here. If Richard can just slide his arm through and hook up with his other arm, this could be the end of the fight. Chris just needs to try and free his head, find some space, push down on that elbow. Down on Richard's left elbow that's holding into his throat. Doesn't look too tight just here, and he's let go of it. Oh, looked for a guillotine there, Chris, and oh, he might actually have this. Oh no, he's let go. But Chris looking for a triangle or an armbar. Unfortunately, he's given up his back against the cage. This might be hard for Chris to get out of. Rich softened up his body with shots and looking to take his back. Again, looking for this guillotine submission, and he's got it. That could be tight. He can just connect his arms again. Chris really needs to free his head, though. He is in a lot of danger here. And he's out. Needs to get his head free of here. Doesn't look like it's on his throat, but the pressure on his chin could be enough. Although that's right under now.
Get the leg back. Yeah, you got to get that leg back. Nice.
Again, great ground battle there. Chris secures his own takedown. He's on top. What can Chris do from here? He's looking to get into side control, but he goes straight back into Richard's guard. Really, to try and take this round, Chris needs to try and transition. Needs to try and move into a better position. He's firmly in Richard's guard here, though. And Rich has got a good, strong, solid guard. Very flexible as well. Looking for a rear naked choke here. It's not quite in. But Chris has just got to fight that wrist. He's got to try and prevent his wrist, his hand from being, and try and turn in. And he's out. What can Chris do here? If he can roll and turn into him, but no, he's giving it up. This does look tight. He's giving the thumbs up to the ref though. Richard's obviously one of his hooks weren't in there, which is probably the reason why Chris was able to weather that storm. Final round now. Very close to call this. I think from the way that Richard was fighting for the submissions, that round was his. But Chris can take a lot of heart in that. Richard's gone for submission after submission, choke after choke, and hasn't secured one. Chris showing a lot of heart. Obviously this fight was originally meant to be fourth on the card tonight, but due to a fighter pull-out, Chris is actually fighting in the co-main event against Stefan Busby as well. So I think Chris could have really done without a three-rounder here, but going into the third round now of the B-class division. Obviously B-class, as you can quite see, is no ground head strikes on the ground. Should have probably said that earlier, sorry guys. Wearing the lighter gloves, as all B-class fights do. As the A-class guys will fight in bigger gloves because of the head strikes. Chris needs to close the distance when he's throwing these punches because Richard has got a reach advantage from the look of this. Rather than waving him in, Chris needs to be trying to close the distance here. Try and be the more aggressive. Nice axe kick attempt. Chris secures a takedown, however, he has left his leg in there. The knee bar could be on here for either guy. However, the size of the cage, this isn't looking good for Chris. He needs to push off, secure that knee. Knee locks are allowed. However, heel hook, small joint manipulation is not. Rich looks to take his back. And he looks to have the knee bar here. Chris's corner's going pretty mental. Sat right next to me, but Rich looks to be out of this. Now Chris needs to roll forward, end up on top and turn into Richard. However, he's just given up his back here. Rich obviously going to be looking for this rear naked choke here. However, he just can't quite get Chris's back, can't get the hooks in. He needs to roll. He needs to roll forwards and then roll into Richard. However, Richard now has his back. What Chris needs to do is try and fight Richard's left wrist. Prevent Rich from being able to lock his hands together and securing this choke. He's got his arm under his chin. As you can probably hear next to me, Chris's corner shouting 2-on-1, meaning trying to control this. Rich looks like this is quite deep. Is not quite under his chin though. He needs to really fight Richard's hands to try and avoid this and then turn into him. Obviously still not in the best of positions here. Richard Wallace doing a great job at controlling Chris here though. That looks pretty deep there actually. Rear naked choke attempt and tap. And it's over. Awesome heart from Chris Hayat, but after position after position after position, Richard Wallace looked like the man that was going to take that fight. Looking for choke after choke. Securing the grudge match victory. I think Rich was the more aggressive of fighters. He looked to be seeking out these. For some reason, Chris is apologising to Nick. But
ladies and gentlemen, your winner by way of choking 2 minutes and 21 seconds on round number 3. In the blue corner, Richard Wallace. Ladies and gentlemen, please show your appreciation to our runner-up, Chris Hayat.
early candidate there for fight of the night. Looked like on the ground a battle for position, with Richard obviously coming out on top.